Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for joining me today. I am going to be working on my GR Corolla, which you can see behind me, and I am going to be installing the snorkel today by Velossa to get colder air into the stock Airbox, and especially into the flap that opens up and sucks in hot air. So that will be a big benefit to this, without having to spend a lot of money on an aftermarket Airbox. So I'm kind of curious to see how this does. Here's the main piece. So this is what they call the body. And this is what you can get on all the different colors. And it already comes with the colored mouth or whatever you want to call it. It's screwed on right here. And this is what you can get different colors on. This one right here, you cannot get different colors on. This looks like it's just molded in to whatever color the body is. So it actually worked out well, I think, that I got the red. That way it matched. The two intakes both matched. This right here looks like the piece that is going to go over the flap. So that gives enough room for the flap to open. This, I presume, is the piece that leads air down to this. And then this is the piece that is going to go into our stock Airbox. Now, and then there's some nuts and bolts too. Now I am kind of curious. I don't know why companies do this, but this is a high gloss black that they did, and they told me that this was the only way this came. But why would you do this in a high gloss black when everything else in the engine is a matte black? I mean, why not make it a matte black so it matches everything else? That's kind of weird. Just as a little FYI also, not that I would have necessarily used it, but they say you can download the instructions, but for the GR Corolla there is no instruction manual, which is kind of ironic that they're shipping the product, because some people might need it. But that's why I do videos like this, so that you don't need an instruction manual, you have a video to do it. Now, I've had this off several times, and unless you've kind of been living under a rock, this is very easy. You just need to pop these loose. You can do it with a screwdriver like this, or a panel popper. And what you do, this will just lift right out, like that. And this gives you access to all the stock piece. So we're never going to have to pull it out, so let's just do that. There's two more of these clips, the identical ones. So go ahead and pop those out. These are the two that hold in this stock snorkel piece right here. So, and this is interesting too. I've noticed this before when I had this off, but you know, this brings in cold air from here. But two things I noticed. One, it's not connected right here, so it lets in other warm air. And it's also open under here. So the cold air is going out, but it's also going right out the back. It doesn't all go through here in the first place. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Not 100% sure why there's a little filter there, but we're not going to have to worry about that anymore. So, and then there's this little piece. So, and same thing, we got two more of these little clips. take that one out there. This one's onto the bumper. And then there's a little clip. There we go. Yeah, just to kind of pinch those two things on the side there and they pop out. So, okay. So that is all that material is out of the way, and now we have access to everything we need. There was some talk about having to take off the bumper to do all this, but I've also heard people say that no, they didn't have to do it, and I don't see why you would have to. Just to loosen the top of the bumper right here, just so we can kind of pull back on this top clip. So this is held on by a couple of 10mm bolts here. This will just give us a little bit of movement. See, that gives me just enough play now. Well, this is nice. At the top, it actually snaps right around it. Okay. So you can kind of see there'll be another connection here, these two here. So just looking at this piece, this is the piece that goes up under right here, up under the flap, and allows the cold air to get into that area. So just looking at that though, since I really can't see anything there, I'm going to take the airbox out real quick so I can flip it upside down and make sure I get that mounted correctly. Okay, you just have to pop off this little vacuum line here. There we go, and then you got to take off this. Okay, this whole thing. There we go. Now, I can flip this upside down. You can see what we're doing. Actually seals right up along this line with this foam here. And that gives because this is your door, let me say that. So, it gives that ample room to move. Okay, so that's going to seal like this. This right here gets a nut in one of the bolts, and it's going to go through this bar here, because it doesn't need to slide, because this other one right here doesn't move. So it goes through and attaches to another bracket right there. Okay, once again, my trusty 10. See, they give you an Allen wrench one, which I definitely don't like as much. Large washer first, because that's a big gap. Then I'm going to use a smaller washer. I have to do this all by feel. And then I've got a lock nut here. This goes into the fixed position. So I thought I had the right one, and I think it was just twisting in the wind there. Yeah, it was. It's a 5mm. I had a 4.5. I thought it was the right size. Okay. So note to everybody else, it's a 5mm Allen. So, there we go. Okay. So that is now secured. Now I should be able to put the box, the Airbox back in. Oh yeah, look at that. You can see how that lines right up with it. Look at that. Look at that. Wow. You see that? Look at how perfect that is. That is beautiful. No more hot air being sucked in to the Airbox. I love it. Okay, and another thing that I noticed, I'll go ahead and hook this back up real quick. Look at how much bigger that is. And keep in mind there's foam around the stock one. So there's a lot more air coming through here because it attaches around the outside of it. So then this should slide over that. See if we can connect all the pieces here. There we go. Yeah, see, that's what I was thinking, that they might be nice and snug anyway. Interestingly enough, these don't fit into one another. This is where those little screws go. They actually attach these two pieces together. These are lined back up over the factory holes. So use these factory connectors. This one, I mean, they want you to do a bolt and go from underneath, which is a real pain in the butt. But I've got that, which will work just perfect. I mean, I do wish this part was matte black like that, just so it matched. I do like this as GR. I mean, that's a nice touch. They've got their logo there, that's fine, but it just feels, the gloss black feels out of place. And this even says GRC right here. So all the bolts are back in place. Go ahead and slip our cover on. Get all of our tabs in. You got anything that you'd like to know about with this? It's kind of cool. Because it's red, I can actually see it now. It jumps out. You know, if it's black, it kind of just disappear in the shadows. But if you've got anything you're not sure, not clear about what I did or how I did it, then feel free to reach out to me, and I do try to answer everybody's questions. It is weird though, because sometimes I find a question later that I wasn't notified about and that I just missed. I'm supposed to get an email notification for all questions, and sometimes I find one many months later, so I just stumble across it when I'm looking through things. But you know, I do try to answer everybody's questions. So please reach out to me. I appreciate your guys' support and everything for the channel. A lot of you have reached out to me personally and thanked me for what I do and how I do it, and I really do appreciate that. So I do this so I can hopefully help others realize that they can do things themselves, and I try to show all the steps so that you guys can all do that, even if you don't have a lot of experience. So please like, subscribe, and help me continue this. And until next time, guys, we'll see you down the road with a little more cool air this time.